All right, get ready. Today we're taking a deep dive into how to nail that insurance underwriter interview.
And to help us, we've got some awesome resources from RoleCatcher,
Their career guide, their interview guide, and even a sneak peek at their AI tools.
which are super helpful for tailoring your prep.
So think of this as your personal interview boot camp.
We're breaking down the role, the must-have skills, and giving you the strategies to tackle those tricky questions.
Plus, we'll look at how your role impacts the whole insurance world.
That kind of bigger picture thinking can really impress interviewers.
All right, let's jump right into it with a common but important question. What inspired you to pursue a career in insurance underwriting?
It sounds simple, but there's definitely a way to make your answer stand out.
More than just saying you're good with numbers, right?
Right. Instead, try connecting your answer to a personal experience or a specific part of the job that really excites you.
Like, what first sparked your interest in the field?
Exactly. Maybe a family member inspired you, or the idea of mitigating risk for businesses really intrigues you.
It's about finding that authentic connection.
And don't forget to showcase your existing knowledge.
Oh, like mentioning a recent article you read about climate change impacting insurance policies.
Exactly. Weaving in those current trends shows you're engaged and curious, which is a big plus.
Speaking of staying engaged, how about this one? How do you stay up to date on industry trends and changes? Seems pretty relevant in a constantly evolving field like insurance.
Absolutely. It's crucial to show a proactive approach to learning here.
So, talk about the industry publications you subscribe to.
Yes. Or the webinars and conferences you attend.
Even online forums or discussion groups you're active in.
Right. Highlighting these activities shows your commitment to staying ahead of the curve.
And maybe even mention a specific insight you gained from a recent article or conference.
Like, I recently learned about the growing use of AI in underwriting, and I'm excited to see how it shapes the future of risk assessment.
Now you're not just passively absorbing information. You're actively processing and applying it, and that's valuable.
It shows real initiative.
All right, let's get a little more technical. How do you determine appropriate coverage for a client?
This one really gets to the heart of an underwriter's job, showcasing your analytical skills and understanding of risk assessment.
So, walk the interviewer through your process.
Step by step, how you gather client information, analyze their risk profile, and then determine the right coverage.
I guess mentioning specific tools or techniques you use could be helpful too.
Yeah, like reviewing financial statements, inspecting properties, or analyzing claims history.
But it's not just about the numbers.
You're right. It's also crucial to emphasize clear communication with the client.
It's a collaborative approach, right?
Exactly. Understanding their needs and concerns, not just dictating terms. This builds trust and makes the whole process smoother.
And speaking of communication, here's one that focuses on those skills. How do you handle a situation where a client's request for coverage exceeds their risk profile?
Ooh, that can be tricky.
Yeah, sounds like it could be a tough conversation.
It's designed to assess your risk management and communication skills in potentially challenging situations.
So how do you approach it without damaging the client relationship?
By explaining your reasoning clearly and professionally, you might offer alternative solutions or outline the potential consequences.
It's all about finding a balance, meeting the client's needs while protecting the company's interests.
Exactly. And that's where strong communication really shines.
Now, before we dive into more questions, I want to touch on something pretty cool. RoleCatcher's AI tools.
They're amazing. It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
Seriously, tell me more.
So you can record yourself answering practice questions, and their AI analyzes your video responses.
Whoa, that's next level.
It gives you feedback on your delivery, content, even your body language.
It sounds incredibly helpful.
It is. It can even help you tailor your resume and cover letter for each job you apply for.
Now that's impressive. It's like having a secret weapon to boost your confidence and help you stand out.
Exactly. And it takes the guesswork out of interview prep.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground already, focusing on those key interview questions.
We've only just scratched the surface of the world of insurance underwriting.
But don't worry, we'll be back in a moment to dive even deeper into those RoleCatcher resources.
And uncover even more strategies for interview success.
Stay tuned. And we're back, ready to tackle even more of those tricky interview questions for aspiring insurance underwriters.
Because you know they're going to throw some curveballs your way.
RoleCatcher's interview guide really dives into those tougher scenarios.
Like this one, for instance. How do you prioritize your workload when underwriting multiple policies simultaneously?
So they're really trying to see how you handle pressure and stay organized.
Exactly. It's about demonstrating your ability to juggle multiple priorities without, well, dropping the ball.
What are some things candidates could highlight in their answer?
Think about the systems you use to stay organized.
Like a specific method for tracking deadlines.
Yeah. Or how you prioritize tasks based on urgency or complexity.
Or if you're comfortable delegating when appropriate.
Highlighting these strategies shows the interviewer you've got a plan.
And that you can manage a demanding workload.
And don't forget about communication. Keeping everyone informed can really help things run smoothly.
Right, because a lack of communication can lead to all sorts of bottlenecks.
For sure, yeah. And speaking of communication, how would you answer this one? How do you handle situations where you disagree with the underwriting decision of a colleague or supervisor?
Ooh, that's a tough one. It's about navigating those professional relationships carefully.
Definitely. You don't want to be seen as someone who blindly follows orders, but you also don't want to be constantly disagreeing.
It's a delicate balance.
It is. So how do you walk that fine line?
Well, I imagine starting by trying to understand their reasoning.
Yeah, ask clarifying questions and really listen to their perspective.
Then if you still disagree after that, what then?
Respectfully express your concerns, maybe provide data or evidence that supports your viewpoint.
So it's not just shutting down the conversation.
Yeah.
It's having a constructive dialogue.
Exactly. And ultimately showing that you can respect the final decision, even if it's not the one you would have made.
Okay, I like that approach. Now, how about this question? Can you describe a time when you had to make a difficult underwriting decision?
The classic tell me about a time question.
They can be tricky, but also a great opportunity to bring your experience to life.
The STAR method is your friend here.
Situation, task, action, result. I remember learning that one.
Start by setting the scene, describe the challenge, outline the steps you took, really highlight your actions and thought process.
And end on a positive note.
Of course. Did you mitigate a risk? Did you come up with a creative solution? Make that story memorable.
It's all about showing how you handle pressure, make tough decisions, and ultimately achieve a successful outcome.
Exactly. Now let's switch gears a bit. How about this one? How do you manage relationships with clients and brokers?
Seems straightforward, but I bet there's more to it than just being friendly.
You're right. It's about building trust, communication, really understanding their needs.
So what are interviewers looking for here?
Think about the strategies you use to build those strong relationships. Do you practice active listening? Are you responsive?
Do you go above and beyond to anticipate their needs?
Exactly. And maybe share an example of a time you did just that.
Those real-world examples really make your skills come alive.
They do. And to wrap up this section, let's talk about data accuracy. What steps do you take to ensure the accuracy and completeness of underwriting data?
So now they're looking for someone who's meticulous, really thorough.
Absolutely. Talk about your process for double-checking information, verifying sources, and staying organized.
Are there specific tools or software you use?
That's a great point. Mention those. And do you have a system for flagging potential errors?
Because maintaining the integrity of that data is crucial.
It really is. Now, before we move on, I think it's worth circling back to RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools for a minute.
Yeah, because they can be such a game changer for interview prep.
They offer more than just sample questions and answers.
Like having that virtual coach who can pinpoint areas for improvement.
Their AI can analyze your video responses, point out where you might be rambling, using jargon, even flag nervous body language.
And it's all tailored to the specific jobs you're targeting, which is so helpful.
It gives you that extra edge. So with our interview skills sharpened and our AI tools ready, let's shift our focus.
In our final segment, we'll explore the evolving landscape of the insurance industry.
And how the role of the underwriter fits into this dynamic world.
Plus, we'll leave you with some thought-provoking questions to consider as you continue your interview prep journey.
Stay tuned.
All right, we're back for the final part of our deep dive.
We've covered a lot of ground on the specifics of prepping for that insurance underwriter interview.
But now it's time to step back and look at the bigger picture.
Right, like how does an underwriter's work actually impact the real world?
And RoleCatcher's Career Guide does touch on this.
Yeah, it highlights how underwriters play a crucial role in protecting people and businesses.
It's more than just those numbers on a spreadsheet.
Exactly. Think about it.
Underwriters are the ones assessing the risks associated with all sorts of things.
Everything from car accidents and natural disasters to health emergencies.
Their decisions really have a ripple effect.
They influence the availability and the affordability of insurance for so many people.
Wow, that's a huge responsibility.
It is.
And it's not just about protecting people financially either.
Right. It's about giving them peace of mind.
Knowing they have a safety net if something unexpected happens.
That sense of purpose can be really motivating.
It is, knowing that your work is making a real difference in people's lives.
And that genuine passion is something interviewers are looking for.
So in that interview, don't be afraid to connect your skills and experiences to the bigger picture.
Talk about how your work contributes to the stability of the industry as a whole.
And to the well-being of individuals and businesses.
It shows you're not just looking for any job, you really want to make a difference.
It demonstrates a deeper understanding that goes beyond the technical stuff.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought to consider.
Okay, sure.
So this isn't explicitly mentioned in RoleCatcher's resources, but it's something to keep in mind.
All right, I'm listening.
The insurance industry is going to face a lot of disruption in the coming years.
You're talking about climate change, those emerging technologies, and those shifting consumer expectations.
Exactly. Things are changing, and those who can adapt will really thrive.
So as you're preparing for that interview, don't just focus on the skills and knowledge you have right now.
Think about how you can continuously learn and grow.
To meet those new challenges.
To seize those new opportunities.
Who knows, maybe you'll be the one analyzing the risk of autonomous vehicles.
Or developing new insurance products to address the impacts of climate change.
The possibilities are endless, especially for those who embrace that innovation.
And remember, preparation is key.
Dive into those RoleCatcher resources.
Practice your responses.
And use their AI tools to really refine your approach.
That personalized feedback is so valuable.
You've got this. Go out there and ace that interview.
Best of luck.
And that wraps up our deep dive into the world of insurance underwriting interview prep. We hope you feel empowered and ready to tackle those questions, land that dream job. Until next time, happy learning.